Hey everyone, Phoebe Rizzo here, and after today's movie, I miss Cannibal Terror. That movie was art compared to today's. I mean, I would rather watch Demonic Toys again, or even Killjoy. Yeah, maybe even Killjoy. That movie was at least trying to do something. Badly, yes, but it tried something. Today's movie, Claw. First, this wasn't the movie I was expecting to watch today. I mean, I wasn't even expecting to expect anything. I was going to do a streaming service roulette. So, I did. And I proceeded to queue up it. And the movie that came up was not Claw. It was Victor Crowley, which is a movie I did actually sort of want to see. Problem was, Victor Crowley is a sequel. It is the fourth film in the Hatchet series. I have not seen Hatchet 3. I have not seen Hatchet 2. I've seen Hatchet. So, I was unable to watch this movie to give it a fair review with taking it completely out of context. So, I decided that I would just move on to whatever's next in the streaming queue and make it a point to watch Hatchet since I actually own a copy of it at the next opportunity. So, my next review will be of Hatchet. But today I got stuck with Claw, which was a 2017, 2018 movie of nothing. I don't even know why it's called Claw. This one hurt. This one hurt bad. Okay. What is Claw about? Good question. It's a serial killer movie about a guy wearing a blowtorch mask killing folk. I think maybe it's called Claw because the guy's right hand is kind of, he keeps holding it like this, like it's like he can't move it, or it's like withered or shriveled into like this claw, and he keeps kind of caressing and feeling people with that. If so, the movie calls no attention to it whatsoever, does not reference his hand in any way, does not emphasize it, so that's just a shot in the dark guess. So, our movie, after an initial seemingly pointless, but later revealed to actually have a point, death scene, we're introduced to our three leads, who are bored New York teenagers, college students, something. I think college students will go with, who are bored, so they decide to go up into the country on a serial killer tour. They go to this town that has a higher percentage of violent murders. Okay, and they want to. One of them wants to go on this. The other ones are just going around just cause. And then they proceed to, after a night of fun, proceed to be picked off one by one. Basic serial killer slasher bullshit. But they are the problem. They are the problem. Our three leads are Ella, Kevin, and Tiffany with an I. Now, Ella seems to be one of the main ones, who looks sort of drugged out. I will say of the three, she's the best actress. But as a character, she is intolerable. She's a bitch. She rags on the other two constantly, and she's whining the entire time about what they're doing. And when it's not going her way, she complains and gripes and whines and rags on the other two. When she's not either getting a chance to drink or make good on her slutty dialogue to find a farm boy, her words, to rock the world of. And she keeps talking like that she was doing the world's a favor, like she's God's gift to sex. And she's the best one of these three. Also, character-wise, I prefer Tiffany with an I. But Ella at least could act, sort of, enough. Then we have Kevin, whose first line of dialogue is flat earther conspiracy theories. Kevin is a wimp and is just pushed around by the two girls that he's with and given no rights. They're constantly dragging him down. They're constantly ragging on him. There's no reason for him to want to associate with them, but he does. I have a hard time picturing these three as friends with how much they just constantly fighting, tearing each other down. They're all going along on Tiffany with an Eye's horror movie serial killer tour. None of them care. None of them want to be there. In fact, they're just mocking it the whole time. Kevin is a doormat, and he goes dangerously close to incel territory sometimes, and especially towards the end, making him completely unlikable. Tiffany, with an I, they just refer to her like that a couple times, so it's just... Tiffany, as a character, she's okay. She's the nicest of the three, and while she's completely obsessed with serial killers to an unhealthy degree, it's at least a character quirk, unlike the other two. The problem is her actress is so very flat. All of her lines are delivered like she's reading them off. She does not react or emote mid-dialogue. She seems to pause in emotion before and after. But otherwise, it's just so flat. I don't know what your guys' problem is. Oh, God, she was mad. So, for the most part, the movie itself isn't... Plotline is, well, basic. It isn't a terrible setup, and there's some interesting ideas that are sort of developed of what's going on until the characters speak, and the dialogue is... it's god-awful. The dialogue in this is stuff no one would say to anyone. The lines that are sort of believable is just insults. The kills that happen aren't interesting. They're mostly a person strapped to the table and stabbed with a ridiculous amount of blood spray, but no real gore effects to comment on or write home about. Oh boy. The whole movie is shot on like a shaky cam thing, like it's done completely handheld. Oh boy. And heck, even a lot of things are just staged well. Like where the actress is tied to a table, and she can pretty much move her arms, so she could clearly just untie herself. Let's see. Okay. So after they are slowly getting picked off one by one, The fact that the killer is so obviously masked, it's obviously baiting up for a twist. And there's a twist. I won't even reveal it here because it's not worth it. The twist that they have is it's dumb, very dumb, and brings makes you like certain characters even less. But if you actually really want to know, watch Claw. Suffer like I did. Anyway, I suppose a few other things I did notice before we get too far off base here. So essentially, the, the main characters are like renting a bed and breakfast house, and they're not supposed to go into certain rooms. So it seems kind of, despite that, it seems kind of random why the killer is plaguing them here all of a sudden out of the blue. I mean, yeah, they're in serial killer country, apparently, but it seems kind of random. But the twist does make it reveal that there is a point. It's just a bad one. But one of the problems is well, they're going on this serial killer tour, right? And they're stopping and talking about serial killers of the past in the area. And all the kills they're describing are so much more interesting than what we're shown. The killers they're describing, I would have preferred movies about them. Or the victims that they're describing are much more interesting than these characters. Also, there's one part. This movie, the gore here is not here. There's a bit of nudity here for one character, but for another one, I actually have to sit down and talk about part here because just how they handle her for Tiffany with an eye. Now, it's very obviously clear that this actress had a no nudity clause, and that's okay. That's fine. But if you're going to work around that, you have to either have the actress not get naked or go do something to make it not explicitly obvious. Now, she has a bath scene. Okay. And so she's mostly just shot from neck up. Fine. The camera keeps going just as low as possible on her, causing some very weird angles. If that was all, okay. I wouldn't think anything of it. I would accept that within the realms of okay. It wouldn't have stood out to me. But she gets killed in this bathtub. And when she does, you can pretty much see her chest. But there's a bit of blur on her that's clearly digitally removing her nipples. Yeah, they covered up her nudity with post effects. I'm okay not seeing her. That's fine. But don't just do it so you can't tell. Don't make her a Barbie doll. And then after she gets killed, and they do the one scene with the digital effect, the next part she's going like this, after she's already been stabbed. She's not holding her wound, she's holding her tits. We didn't have to kill her in the bathtub. We didn't have, and if we did, it's easy just to show her stab wound in the stomach or stomach, and then a face reaction. We didn't have to go into that territory, but no. Either do the scene or don't do the scene. And I'm okay if you don't do the scene. Not every horror movie has to be loaded to the brim with nudity. That's okay. I mean, a movie like this needs all the help it can get. This was not helping. This was not helping at all. My cat is here on my lap purring. She is mocking what this movie did to me. Claw. One MacGuffin. Only because I don't do 0 ratings. This one is a 1. I'd rather watch Easter Casket again. I'd rather watch Killjoy again. So far, this one right here, it's the bottom of the barrel I've hit so far. And I'm scared, guys. I'm scared for what some of these roulettes are going to do to me. I have some pretty bad ones in my personal collection. And I will talk about them at some point. But those ones I'm at least ready for. This one got my hopes up with Victor Crowley. Only to dash them with Claw. Do not watch this movie. No. No. Save yourself.